Okay, now I'm just generally gonna talk about spoilers. So here's your warning: if you haven't gone and seen it, and you don't want to spoil it, which I wasn't very I didn't really know anything about it going in, which was nice. I kind of avoided the spoilers. I wanted to see it soon because I didn't want it to be, I don't know everything that was going to happen. But anyway, back to, I guess, like the humor aspect of it. There's this point where Kylo Ren, he like jumps off uh, this like platform when he's coming to the weird planet. I forget what they call it, like eggsicle or something. I was like, what is an eggsicle? Anyway, so he like jumps off this really high thing and like grabs onto a ledge, and he's just like, ow. And it was like the most deadpan, actually funny part. I don't know, just because like in so many action movies, they'll do stuff like that and just be like, oh yeah, I jumped 20 feet straight onto my chest and like I'm just epic. But I don't know. It was actually really funny and not like, not too fourth wall breaky, to be like cringy. Which I did feel, I don't know. I felt like some of the humor, like C3PO tried to make these jokes about like, oh, everyone always leaves me behind, but it was like in a really weird and sassy way that like, I don't know. I feel like the first Star Wars movies did kind of make jokes that way, but they weren't like C3PO being like sassy, because I don't know. I feel like a robot can't be sassy, or a droid or whatever. Anyway, there were just issues with like Luke as a ghost reaches out and like catches the lightsaber that Rey is throwing away when she, I guess, gets angry and stuff. And he also like force lifts his X-wing out of the water, and like, I don't know, like obviously it's made up so you can do whatever you want, but I feel like it was kind of breaking, I don't know, the laws of physics and stuff for the Star Wars universe, because I don't know if this is correct, but from what I remember, like the ghost characters couldn't just like move everyday stuff. Like they showed up and like gave advice, but I feel like they couldn't. If they can still move stuff, then couldn't they just come back and like fight battles and stuff? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, I feel like stuff like that bothers me more because it's something that you don't have to do. Like Luke can still come back as a ghost, give her helpful advice, and be like, "Hey, my X-wing's right over there." And there could be like a dramatic scene where he's like telling her to force pull it out of the water, and she does, and it's like, oh, so inspiring. But like they chose to just have him like, oh, here's your ship, here's your lightsaber, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't know, like you didn't have to do that. Anyway, another thing, uh, that like Kylo Ren and Rey have this weird like connection thing where I think it happened in the earlier movies too, but like they would be like communicating through some like mental connection. I don't know. There's this scene where they like had a lightsaber duel through the mental connection, and I don't know. For me, it was another one of those things that just I feel like it kind of broke the laws of physics in the Star Wars world, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe they can do this, but it just felt kind of cheesy, and it did set up later. There's this super cool part where Kylo Ren is surrounded by, I think they're called like the Knights of Ren, but it's like the other evil guys, and they like start beating him up because he doesn't have any weapons, but he's coming to save Rey and everything. And then he like reaches behind him and pulls like the lightsaber out, like the second one that Rey has, and it is legit. Like I was super stoked. It was really cool. But anyway, I did feel like it was just kind of, I don't know. Now you can teleport stuff, like cool. But the issue I had with it really was not just that it was like breaking the physics, because I don't know, it's all made up and stuff. But anyway, it was this point where they were having like the lightsaber duel between them and this like mental connection, and she's in his ship while he's down like on this planet. And so like he first sees her, and they're like talking and stuff, and she's holding this dagger that he's captured and is in his like his chambers or whatever. So he would see that and know where she is. Or maybe he's just not paying that good attention. But I feel like anything she's holding, he would be able to see. Maybe not. I don't know. But then, like 30 seconds later, he says, like, they're doing their lightsaber duel through the connection, and he sees her, like, she slices down this thing that's holding up Darth Vader's old mask, and he goes, "Oh, like I know where you are now," because apparently he like sees the mask, and then he calls in a stormtrooper or whatever, like, "Oh, hey, they're up in the ship in my quarters," and like he should have seen earlier that they were there. I don't know. It just seemed like a a mistake to me. Maybe it makes sense, but the whole like connection between them, I'll excuse it for plot development, but I was just like, I don't know. I'll move on. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Another problem that I had with it was like Palpatine coming back from the dead. I don't know. In the whichever movie, he got like thrown off the side of the ship by Darth Vader, or like this big hole thing in the Death Star, and um, like exploded, or I don't know, some big like stuff shot up, and it was like, pew! I don't know, like obviously he's supposed to be dead, and then he comes back in this one, and I don't know, it was just like I feel like that was something that was kind of put to bed in the earlier movies, and why do you have to bring it back up? Um, I don't know. Not again, not a big issue, but it was something that I was like not the biggest fan of. Um, I don't know. And the last thing that I put down was like, okay, so there's this scene where Ray it, like goes back to Luke's old home, and she like buries her lightsabers, and um, then this like old woman comes up and asks her like what her name is, and she says Ray, and then she like there's this whole dramatic pause and stuff, and then she's like Rey Skywalker, da da da. And I don't know. I just felt like it kind of makes sense because she had like Ghost Luke and Leia over there. Like, yeah, she's one of us. Cool. But Kylo also has he has like Leia's blood, I guess. So he would have Skywalker blood, and he was the one who kind of um, I don't know. I guess turned from the dark side. So I felt like the rise of Skywalker could be in reference to him, like the title of the movie. I don't see why they had to directly be like, "Oh, Leia's the Skywalker," and that is like referenced in the title of the movie. Um, I don't know, which is like whatever they chose to do that certain way, but it was just something that I was like, I don't know. I feel like you didn't need to do that, and then it's like explaining, "Hey, this is our concept for what the movie was." I mean, not that overt, but it was. I feel like someone who's really thinking about the movie would appreciate if they were like thinking about, okay, who is the Skywalker that's doing the rising? Is it like, um, is it Rey or is it Kylo Ren? Um, I don't know. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about things that I like from the movie. Um, like I said before, the overall storyline was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Rey's healing power was kind of cool. I feel like that was another thing that kind of changed in this movie, but I was like, okay, they have the force so they can like move stuff. Why not like seal up wounds? I don't know, or like heal people. I thought that was a cool thing that I hadn't seen before. As I mentioned before, that scene where like grabs the lightsaber uh, out of their like telepathic connection. I thought that was honestly super dope. And overall, uh, that character Kylo Ren was just like I really liked him in this movie, and I don't know. I think it was something about like the redemptive nature of his character, but I like wanted him to turn good, and I wanted him to I don't know. I guess beat the bad guys, which is what it's all about, right? Um, and then the Rey and Kylo kiss. I was like, honestly, it kind of surprised me because like I just didn't see their characters connecting like that, like in a romantic way. Um, but it was good. I was like rooting for them until he disappeared, which I was like, dang it. I feel like they would have made a cool like Jedi king and queen power couple. But I don't know. It can't be all happy, you know? I mean, I guess it could, but whatever. Additional thoughts? I don't know. Just some other random things. I I heard about the lesbian kiss before I saw the movie. From my buddies who were kind of critiquing it, and like they didn't say anything bad about it, but I didn't know who it was between, so I was like, oh, is this gonna be like Ray and some chick, or I don't know. I felt like it was honestly I thought it was a nice way to like tie that in without being like okay, now we have to make the main characters like lesbian, you know? I felt like it was a nice nod to like incorporating that and not being like no, all Star Wars characters are like straight white people, you know. But yeah, so I felt like it was being more progressive in like a reasonable way. I don't know. Another random thing was like, okay, I feel like Lando was creepy. I don't know what it was specifically, but like the way he said, there's this scene where he says to Ray, he's like, "Give Leia my love" or something like that, and it's like it was just like the way he said it was just weird, and I didn't like it. um, yeah, I think that's about everything. So if you had any thoughts about the movie and want to comment, please do below. And hope you liked the video. Thanks, guys.